Good morning to all of you, and welcome for being here. Thank you for being here. My name's Dave, 42452, and I'm just going to be leading us through our time together here this morning at this memorial. A couple of the things that happen when you grow old disgracefully. Number one is, I can't remember whether I told this story here before or not. And number two is, I really don't care. There's bound to be some here who have not heard the story before, and I reckon at our age, probably 90% of those who have heard have forgotten it. So this goes back to the days when I was still working before I retired as a pastor in a local church. The phone rang one day, and I answered the phone, and the voice on the other end said, "Is this the pastor who rides a motorcycle?" And I assured her I was guilty as charged, that I was a pastor and I do ride a motorcycle. And then her second question was, "Do you do memorial services?" And my answer to that was, yes, I do memorial services. And that led to the third question, and that was, "Would you do one in a pub?" And I said, "Now you have my attention. Why don't you tell me the story?" And so she introduced herself as the wife of the publican at probably what was at the time the roughest pub in town. And she told me about a bloke named Kiwi. And Kiwi was a resident at the pub. He ate there, he drank there, he slept there, he was part of the pub family. And Kiwi had just died. And Kiwi was all by himself in Australia. All of his family were in, you can probably guess where. And arrangements had already been made for a funeral and dealing with his remains, but the patrons of the pub wanted an opportunity to honor Kiwi's life. And so I said, yeah, I'd love to do that. And the day came, and I arrived, and I parked my bike right out in front of the roughest pub in town. And they started off, they had a barbecue out the back, and I mingled with all of the patrons of the pub, and they talked to me about Kiwi over a snag and some potato salad from Coles. And then came the time to gather everyone into the function room, and we started off by patrons at the pub just sharing their thoughts of Kiwi. Now, I had come with all my spiel printed up, double-spaced in large print so I could read it. And I had all my words planned out that I was going to say, but having listened to them around the barbecue and then having listened to them share their thoughts, I just folded up my notes and stuck them in my pocket. And when it came my turn to say something, it was something like this, that Jesus said that not even a sparrow falls to the ground without God noticing. And what a tragedy it would be for someone to die and have nobody notice. It happens more than you know. People who die alone and have no one, or maybe just a handful of people at a funeral. And I said to them, you're here today, and what I've witnessed amongst you is community. And you've noticed, and you've cared enough to honor your friend's life. That's what we're here for today. We're here to notice. We're here today to remember those who have ridden on. We're here today to honor their lives. And so as we proceed through this time this morning, as branch members will come, branch representatives will come and just give a word about different ones who have ridden on through the year. Remember them, honor them. If you knew them, you'll have some memories. If you didn't know them, at least share in the thoughts of the day of those who passed on. I'm going to turn it over to Alan Pratt now, the national president, who's going to bring us some words of condolence and wisdom. I don't know why they laughed at that second part. Let's go.
got me standing like a kangaroo in a headlight. Wisdom.
Give it a shot.
We're going to sit out the back and smoke some more bombs, I think. Wisdom. No. Take it? Take it and run. Sue said I've got to take it and run. Okay, this is a message that was sent to every Ulyssian in Australia that has their email address registered with the National Office. And it goes as follows. To all my fellow Ulysses Club members, on the 11th of September 2022, in every state all over Australia, Ulysses Club branches and members of the Ulysses Club are gathering together to remember those fellow riders that have ridden on. This is a time to reminisce and to celebrate both the lives of those that have passed, but also the time to appreciate the people that are still here with us. A lot of Ulyssians, the Ulysses Club is a family. To some, it is the only family. This family is often the one that shares your stories, your journeys, your good times, and stands with you or holds your hand during the bad times. Treasure those that are still here. Let them know that you care and be there for them when needed. Tell the people that mattered how you feel. Take the chances to do something different or outside of your comfort zone. Make the decisions and journeys that will give you experiences to look back on and share with others. As we all know, life is too short and tomorrow is never promised. As we get older, sadly, we see the passing of a lot more friends and family. Health and time limits us to what we can do, whether it be longer, able to ride a bike, have to ask for assistance, or going to events in a caravan or an RV. Get out there and live life to the fullest. You are still a Ulyssian and still a part of the Ulysses Club family. And those that are riding the great highways and byways in the sky, we will miss you, but are so glad to have known you. And that was written by my wife. So yeah, look, as it said in there, tomorrow's not a given. So enjoy and yeah, just enjoy.
Thanks, Amy. So it's Siobhan who has the wisdom.
Yes.
They lived their lives disgracefully. They loved a social life. They blessed us with their friendship. They wore the old man badge with pride. But though our friends have ridden on and crossed that great divide, their legacy inspires us yet, whilst in our hearts they still abide. Karen's going to come now and read out the names of those who have ridden on in the past year.
We just waited all for that. These are the names that have been written on for the last 12 months. We've got 17741, Alex Pogolowski from Cairns. 67421, Grant Grumpy from Sunshine Coast. 5915, James Milling, Gladstone. 1630, is that better?
Yeah, I'm here. Use your big voice. Use your outside voice, Kevin.
16930, Shirley Vickers, Smoky Glasshouse Mountains. Is that better?
Yeah.
Do you want me to start from the beginning again? No. 60671, Lee Wells, Redcliffe. 26842 Eric Ford, Sunshine Coast. 6899 Gerald Simmons from Brisbane Branch. 42995 Donald Carter Donny, Glasshouse Mountains. 41611 John Toppy, Glasshouse Mountains. 11055 Frank Kruger, Glasshouse Mountains. 5469 Kenneth Sevenoaks K7 from Gladstone. 17665 Jim Ashton, Jaffa, Ipswich. 62369 Douglas Back, Redlands and Darling Downs. 46273 Michael Shiverton, Redlands. 35777 Phil Owens, Mr. Polite from Tweedwater. And 68914 Warren Bradley from Tweedwater.
Thanks for that, Karen. Now's the time for branch representatives to come and to just give some thoughts in memory of people from your branch who have ridden on. So don't be shy. I'm waiting for the first volunteer. Okay, I'm just told there are also family of those who've ridden on, maybe who might want to say something as well. You're certainly welcome to come. Now they're fighting for it.
Hi everyone, what a beautiful day. My name's Tony Wilshire, Darling Downs branch, and I just talked about Doug. I haven't been a branch member for that long, about 3 years I think. At that time I got to know Doug as a very fine, honest, upstanding gentleman. He always enjoyed a good discussion. He dearly loved his family, and he also loved the Ulyssians as a family. He's certainly going to be surely missed amongst our crowd, and I just thank the family for coming along. It's greatly appreciated. Thank you. Yeah, and that's about all.
Good Doug back.
Is that all right? I'm not singing. I'm from Ipswich Branch. We lost Jim Ashdown, or Jaffa, April this year. Jim was a good Ulysses. He wasn't only a member of our branch, Brisbane West, Lockyer, maybe down at Lindsay, and I did hear that he was a member of Glasshouse Mountains, so he got around a bit. So a lot of you would probably know him if you saw him. What I will say about Jim, he didn't come on many rides in his trike. He came along in the car with Gail. He did, however, every Christmas toy run, take his trike and always won the prize for the best dressed bike, because Gail had spent a week dressing it up. And he just used to ride it there, and yeah, every year he used to get away with the prize. So Jim will be missed by our group. I'm sure by many of the other groups that are here that used to know him. Right on, Jim.
I'm not really here to say words about Jim, although he was a good mate of all of us, and it's lovely to see Gail here today. Give her a cuddle, somebody. I just wanted to say that being an ex-sound engineer, if you hold a microphone like that, it doesn't work. You've got to talk into it like this so that everyone can hear. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone. Brett Lawler from Glasshouse. I just wanted to mention John Toppy and Smokey, Shirley Vickers, who've both been long-term members of Glasshouse and sorely missed. Many a fond memory from both of them. Both of them have been with Glasshouse since the days of the Aero Club. So they've been around a while and sorely missed. Thank you.
Hold it up because I'm supposed to. Okay,
speak loud too.
And do I have to speak loud too? Can you hear me? No?
Big girl voice. What about, can you hear me?
No.
Big mum voice.
Okay. Brisbane branch is here to recognise Gerald Zimmer. Our motto is growing old gracefully, with Gerald lived up to each day. He was an inspiration to our branch. He had a zest for life and was like a breath of fresh air. He was our friend, mate, colleague, storyteller of adventures and teller of jokes. I think if we took a page out of Gerald's life, we would find there is so much to life to explore and experience. We just need to take the first step and see where it leads us. Rest in peace, Gerald. I have some extra words to share. I put it past Siobhan. She said it was fine. It was an article that was sent to me from a member in my branch named Rod, and I thought it was something that we could share to everybody and see how we go. I bought a motorcycle for a personal dream. One day when I am very old and when I cannot walk anymore, it will be in my garage as a trophy of my memories. I met people who taught me something and have the same spirit. I got wet, I felt cold, I felt heat, I felt fear, I fell, I got up, I hurt myself. But also I laughed outside in my helmet. I thought 1,000 times I spoke 1,000 times with myself. I sang and shouted with joy like a madman. And yes, sometimes I cried while speaking to loved ones who have passed, but ride with me every day. I have seen wonderful places and lived unforgettable experiences. I often made corners that even Valentino Rossi would be proud of. Other times I made the corners full of fear and terror. I stopped 1,000 times to see a landscape. I spoke with perfect strangers and I forgot people I see every day. I went out with demons inside and returned home with absolute peace in my heart. I always thought how dangerous it is knowing that the meaning of courage is to advance even feeling fear. Every time I get on my bike, I think how wonderful it is. I stop talking to those who do not understand, and I learned through gestures to communicate with other motorcyclists. I spent money I did not have, giving up many things, but all these things are not even worth a moment on my bike. It is not a means of transport or a piece of iron with wheels. It is the lost part of my soul and my spirit. And when someone says to me, "You have to sell the motorcycle and you have to be a more serious person," I do not answer. I just swing my head and smile. To ride a motorcycle, only the person who loves them understands them. I am blessed to have ridden many roads with my best friends and people I have never met, sharing special moments every step of the way with the people closest to me and family across the world. Bless my biker friends, keep us all safe while we are on the roads doing what we enjoy most. Keep the shiny side up and the rubber on the road.
Thanks for that. That was great. That was great. Is there anyone else?
I'll get there first.
Thank you.
Hello, I'm Doug Back's wife, and every Wednesday morning he would get up all excited because he was going riding. And it really meant a lot to him to have his bike, to be going out with his friends, and anyway, he really enjoyed riding, and he was very politically minded, as the people from Redlands and Darling Downs Club will know, and he wasn't shy in saying what he wanted to say, and not everybody liked it, but he was the sort of person that didn't care. And I just want to say that he really felt this was his family, his other family. He had his own family who were all here. But he really liked riding, and he'd come home and he'd tell me all about it and how great it was, what a great ride he'd had, what he saw, what he did, who he spoke to, who he didn't speak to, what he said, what he should have said, all those sorts of things. And it's just, I really appreciate what everybody does here today is to commemorate the people that are still riding on. Thank you.
My mother was not a Ulyssian, but I brought her along to the club one time. Now, my mother was the longest member anywhere in the world, and she got a special trophy for 75 years service for the Red Cross. Now, she joined the Red Cross when she was 8 years old during the Battle of Britain. And along with another lady that we also lost this year, only this week, Queen Elizabeth, or Princess Elizabeth in those days, was handing out rations during the war together. My mother was a member of the Bankstown Wiley Park Motorcycle Club, where she met my father. It was the Bankstown Wiley Park Motorcycle Club. They had Bob Jane and Bobby Morris. That started the hill climbs were going on because the Bankstown Wiley Park Motorcycle Club was affiliated with the Sydney Showground Speedway. But they started the Armstrong 500. Now, my mother passed away just Mother's Day this year and Queen Elizabeth only this week. I'd like to take a minute's silence in remembrance of our great Queen. Thank you. Thank you.
G'day everybody, my name's Big Pete. I'm just here. We lost a Donny Carter back when I was the president, and we've changed hands now, but I have a whole heap of stuff that Irene Carter sent to me, and I'll just read out a bit of it for you. Donny Carter was born in 1943 in December, sadly passed away on Friday, October the 1st in Darwin. That's before this October, thank goodness, because we'd all be confused there. He lived in Darwin. He came down to, he lived in Cairns. He's been a motorbike mechanic and he used to love riding. He came down to Caboolture, lived in Caboolture for approximately 6 years, and then moved back to Darwin in June, be closer to his friends and family. And then he passed away on the 1st of October. So he was a gentleman, a true gentleman, loved his bikes, used to race in Port Douglas, I believe it was, in Cairns. But yeah, just as I said, I'm just passing this lovely message on to you guys. So thank you very much.
Last chance. Okay, we're going to take a moment now to have a minute of silence to remember those who have ridden on. I would ask you that as sun and skin conditions allow to please take your hats off for this minute of silence to remember. If you're a person of faith, you can pray for them or for their family. If you're not a person of faith, then just remember them kindly as we have this moment to remember. For those who have ridden with us, shared a meal and a drink and a laugh, we are grateful today. Amen. We're going to try to sing the Ulyssian song now. Please don't expect me to lead you, but we are going to play it through the sound system, and if you can sing, if you know the words, if you have the words, a number of you have them, I see already, so we'll give that a shot, and I got to remember the procedure now.
Time marches along, the mother makes Every weekend you will find me on the road. With my friends I travel far. I never change the car. Just two wheels and the freedom of the road. And that is all we will be. We're getting older as you can see. We like our bikes, the road, doing what we do. Come and ride with us a while, and I guarantee a smile. Life is short, but it's the longest thing we do. Now you listen, I am, and I travel through this land. Every weekend you will find me on the road. With my friends I travel far. I never change the car. Just two wheels and the freedom of the road. And you listen, I am, and I travel through this land. Every weekend you will find me on the road. With my friends I travel far. I never change the car. Just two wheels and the freedom of the road. And you listen, I am, and I travel through this land. Every weekend you will find me on.
I am pretty sure that I shared these words last year, but I often shared them when I was conducting funerals as well. And that is just three things. Number one, live your life to the full. You don't know how long you have left. Life is limited. And live your life to the full. I've often said that riding a motorcycle is more like life than riding in a car. Because if you come in your car, which I did today, you become impervious to the elements and you can set your temperature control and you can sit there in comfort. But when you ride a motorcycle, if it's hot, you're hot. And if it's cold, you're cold. And if it's wet, you're wet. And if you ride past a field of wildflowers, you can smell them, or through an area of pine forest, you can smell that. Or if you come up behind a pig truck one day, you can smell it. And if one of those pigs decides to relieve itself, you'll also experience it. Riding a motorcycle is like life. Live your life to the full. Number two, love those who are close to you. Life is too short to carry grudges, and I've talked to so many people who've been at the graveside of their loved ones and said, I never said I love you. Hold on to those who are close to you. You don't know how long you have them. And the third thing is just be grateful for every day that you have. If you're a person of faith, you can thank God for it. If you're not a person of faith, just be grateful that you're upright and breathing and still alive, and count your blessings. Those are the three things, and I have nothing more to say, except to thank those who've been involved in making today happen. For the Working Bee team who came up ahead of time to make sure it was all ready. For Rick, who came up early today to fence off things so that it all runs smoothly. To the Salvation Army for providing some tucker for us. Fim for the sound and video that's happening there. to Karen and Savan, who I think probably have done most of the work. Is that about the way it happens? Thank you to everybody who's made it happen. Give them a clap, please. And I'm just going to close our time with, it's a prayer that I wrote years ago for a biker church service. It's called A Biker's Prayer. As I climb astride my ride, I ask you, God, be at my side. Keep me alert throughout the day and guide me safely along the way. Potholes, roofs, and twisty bits, oil, gravel, and dimwits. Lord, protect me from each one until my ride this day is done. While the engine accelerates, let us ride as friends, as mates. But when I stop in bush or town, let me remember to put my foot down. Remind me that my life is fleeting and that one day we will be meeting. Let grace and truth with me abide until I take my final ride. Thanks everyone for coming. Thanks to the organizers. Have a great day. Ride safely on your way home.
Everybody, please put your hands together for Dave. Brilliant job. Thank you.